Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us on our Friday program. Somehow we've made it to the end of the working week. Tomorrow, Saturday morning, will be our live program. That's a chance to, talk about anything, any topics, any questions, any comments. All welcome. That's between 9 and 10 a.m. Thai time, so we look forward to speaking to you then. Also on Sunday, we'll have our Grumpy Old Men program with Mr. Steve Ross. Steve off to an event today, so I'm sure we'll hear all about that. All right, some news in Bangkok. Thai PBS World, 3 injured as tourist boat collides with ferry on the Chao Phraya River. Not much information, but a long-tailed boat carrying Chinese tourists collided with a ferry in the middle of the Chao Phraya River in Bangkok, injuring 3. And the accident occurred near Wat Po. You can read the full name there if you feel inclined. And the injured tourists, including 2 women, were rushed to a local hospital. Fairly dramatic photo. They're seeing the long-tail boat riding up over the side of the ferry and then straight through the fabric roof. So lucky, very lucky, a lot more people weren't injured in that incident. Now let's talk about tourism very quickly, and BangkokPost.com reporting foreign tourist arrivals jump 38% in the first 5 months. Let's put that in context. And nearly 15 million foreign tourists visited Thailand during the first 5 months of this year. That's up 38% from the same period last year, with those from China topping the table. We'll check out the rest of that top 5 in a moment. And the Ministry of Tourism and Sport, the Ministry of Labour and the Tourism Council of Thailand will hold a training event called Ignite Tourism Thailand TAT Skill Factory on June the 15th and 16th. They're going to teach TAT staff how to spell TAT. 2.91 million tourists from China topped the list of arrivals, and they're looking forward to a full year total of 35 million foreign visitors. And as we've mentioned many times before, they're trying to surpass that 2019 total. That was the last full year of tourism before the COVID pandemic, and that was just under 40 million tourists. Now, another version of that story in the PattayaNews.com, Thailand sees 38% surge in tourism with over 14 million visitors in the first half of 2024. And here we go, the top 5 nationalities, as they mentioned in the past story: Chinese, then Malaysians, Russians, Indians, and South Koreans. So that's the current top 5, really hasn't changed much in the last year. Now, that seminar they were talking about, there are a few good ideas. Let's go to nationthailand.com. In Federation to propose 11-point plan to improve the tourism industry, and the Federation of Thai Tourist Association is planning a white paper highlighting an 11-point plan to improve the tourism industry. Now, a lot of them were just fluff, talking about new committees and stuff like that, but there were 2 or 3 good ideas. Let's go to those. At number 3 said, amend labour-related laws to allow migrant workers to be employed to fill shortages in the tourism sector. Well, there's already plenty of foreigners working in high-end managerial positions for big Thai hotel and tourism chains, but I think this would be specifically talking about allowing, say, Burmese and Cambodians to work as like tour guides in some of the smaller jobs that, well, a lot of Thai people don't like to do. Maybe the foreign migrants might do a better job. Number 4 said expand the visa exemption policy. Obviously, there's been plenty about that recently, and increase the number of immigration officers at Suvarnabhumi Airport. Always everybody's calling for that. And airlines should also increase flights and reduce their fares to attract both domestic and foreign tourists. Well, at the end of the day, that's going to come down to a decision by the international airlines. If there's demand, they'll add flights. If there's competition, they'll offer some discounts. I don't think the government can do much except ask politely, but I don't think it's going to change much there. At number 6, design and promote a night tourism program to reduce the risk of tourists suffering from heat stroke as a result of travelling sightseeing during the day. And comprehensive service and safety should be the main focus of night tourism programs. Well, this idea of night tourism is actually a very good idea. It would certainly take a few years to adapt popular tourist attractions to night tourism, but I mean, say over April and May, I wouldn't have wanted to have been waddling around the Grand Palace in the middle of the day. So, yeah, that is a good idea. And number 11 was organise market promotion campaigns in secondary provinces or during the low season to target customers both in Thailand and overseas. Well, I mean, that's a great idea. Getting tourists off the beaten track, encouraging people to take the road less travelled. That's been my highlights, certainly whilst I've been here in Thailand. I mean, I've gone to Chiang Mai, plenty of Bangkok, Pattaya, Hua Hin, Phuket. But the best times I've had are those roads, those craggy little roads I've gone down and gone, wow, I didn't know this was here, including this beach that I'm now living on. With thanks to our sponsors, 5 Star Marine and Beach House Thailand. There's links in the description if you'd like to find out more. Let's talk about land. This article from nationthailand.com, Land Department updates criteria for foreigners to own land. And it starts by saying Thailand's Land Department has updated its criteria for allowing foreigners to own land in the country. Now, don't rush and get out your checkbooks. There's no massive change, but a few reminders that I think it's important for people to be reminded about. And just going to the last couple of paragraphs, the department warned that Thais who act as nominees holding land for foreigners could face a maximum jail term of 3 years or a maximum fine of 6,000 baht or both. And foreigners guilty of acquiring land unlawfully face a maximum daily fine of 20,000 baht and or a maximum jail term of 2 years. But there are still plenty of lawyers and real estate agents out there pushing the idea that foreigners can own land through Thai nominees. But there are ways that foreigners can own land, and the nation lists these. Inheritance foreigners who are the legal heirs of foreigners allowed to hold land can inherit the land holding. Buying land, the department said that Article 96 of the Land Code allows foreigners to buy 1 rai of land for building a residence if they invest at least 40 million baht in the kingdom. And land transfer. Foreigners can receive land transfer in accordance with other laws such as the Investment Promotion Act of 77. And from time to time, Thailand comes up with different investment promotions whereby they offer the ownership of land. Read the fine print. Anyway, that update from The Nation on that one. There is an election underway at the moment for a new Senate. The old Senate was, their term finished in May, and they're now going through the process of, electing, I use the term loosely, a civic Senate. Perhaps not going to plan. District level selection of senators this Sunday might be postponed. And this in thaipbsworld.com. So there's going to be district, then provincial, then national rounds of electing senators. And they're sort of going to be electing themselves amongst the some 24,000 people that have registered. But let's see what's happening. There's been wide speculation that the district level selection of senators scheduled for this Sunday might be postponed pending the Constitutional Court's decision on the constitutionality of 3 provisions in the senator selection law. Well, I'm sure you can imagine that there are some people in Thailand, maybe even including the past senators, who don't like the idea of a democratically elected Senate. And, there's been a few shuffles in the background. I like this statement. Former Senator Wanchai Sawnsiri claimed that there are political elements who are bent on unseating the Prime Minister Seta to force the formation of a new government, disband the Move Forward Party, to lure the party's MPs joining other parties, and aborting the Senate selection to prolong the tenure of the acting senators. I suppose some people might call that an insurrection or maybe even a coup. But the new senators aren't being elected quite as smoothly as was predicted. But we'll see what happens over the next 2 or 3 days to see if those those district elections do get underway. Heading to an interesting article in Pattaya Mail now. It's pretty much an opinion piece. Does Thailand really want humble expats anymore? And the first paragraph is, the answer is a resounding yes, but on Thailand's terms. PM Seta Thavisin has championed the new generation of long-stay visas, such as the long-term residence, the revamped elite, the as yet cloudy Destination Thailand visa, and for those working legally, income tax concessions and specialist visas such as the 4-year Smart Visa. It's actually a good article written by Barry Kenyon, sort of wrapping up a lot of stresses that expats are expressing at the moment on online forums. So I'll put a link in the description of this video if you want to read the rest of that Pattaya Mail article. Now, good news for Thailand when it comes to the top restaurants in the world. And this reported by CNN Travel, world's best restaurants for 2024 revealed. And the awards, considered the Oscars of global fine dining, were handed out at a ceremony at the Wynn in Las Vegas on Wednesday evening. And it says securing 6 restaurants on the list was enough to make Spain the biggest winner on the night in Vegas. In terms of cities, Paris and Bangkok tied for first, each with 4 restaurants on the list. Gagan Anand at number 9 was the Thai capital's top entry. So let's go to the list. The world's 50 best restaurants in 2024. Disfrutar in Spain is number 1. We have to go all the way down there to 9. Gagan Anand in Bangkok. What else is in Thailand? Let's zoom in a bit. We head down there to number 23, Suring, also in Bangkok. Further down to number 38, Sorn, also in Bangkok. And number 40, Ledu in Bangkok, Thailand. None of which I've actually visited, but I look forward to my invitation. But Bangkok still on top of the world as far as I'm concerned for eating at both ends of the dining experience. All right, to another story in Pattaya Mail, heading back to Pattaya. And commuters risk life and limb on overcrowded BART buses on Pattaya Highway. And it looks like this photo has sparked quite a lot of comment on the local social media. And residents have raised safety concerns regarding the overcrowded commuter pickups known locally as BART buses that shuttle passengers on the Pattaya-Sattahip route. On the morning of June 5, a motorist captured photos of a white pickup packed with commuters, sparking widespread discussion among concerned netizens. Somebody said, "This has been going on for decades. Even when I was a kid, pickups like these were packed. It's still the same even now, 40 years later." And a BART bus driver countered, "It's not dangerous. I drive at 20 kilometres an hour." But this did little to allay fears. Would they take responsibility if there's an accident? Can they handle the kids? Well, yeah, this has been going on for years, and not only in Pattaya, happens on school buses right around the country where you see the kids parked on the back. I imagine it might even be where the cool kids stand as they head to school. Back in 2023, Pattaya Mail had this article saying, "No standing rule on Pattaya BART buses bites the dust." And formally introduced nationally last February, the law banning upright passengers on BART buses has been skillfully ignored. And a BART bus representative said that they were under a legal obligation to pick up passengers on request and risked being assaulted if they refused. But yes, it is a common scene to see these kids standing on the back, and even plenty of foreigners getting into the action as well. So whilst they can huff and puff about it in the media, I think it's a sight we're going to continue seeing. And yeah, if I was one of the cool kids, I'd probably want to be standing at the back, even if there was a seat available on the BART bus. Well, that's the way we saw Friday. It's June the 7th. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I do look forward to seeing you all tomorrow between 9 and 10 a.m. Otherwise, have a fantastic Friday.